Make sure your pantry is stocked with your essentials today, so you're always ready for whatever comes your way. Hello everybody and welcome to SuttonsDaze. If you're new here, my name is Lisa. We are all about pantry preparedness. In today's unpredictable climate, having a fully stocked pantry isn't just smart, it's essential. With supply chains under pressure and unexpected disruptions looming, taking action to gather long-lasting food essentials can make all the difference. Each item that you stock, it's a buffer against uncertainty. It's the best insurance that money can buy. Today, we're going to discuss ways for you to equip your home with the staples that will keep your family nourished and prepared for whatever challenges may come our way. Grab your pens and paper because here we go, okay? Number one, don't forget about miscellaneous things, those miscellaneous essentials, I'll call them. That is your bouillon cubes or your soy sauce or your wash your sister sauce, you know? Those kind of things can make the difference between a great meal and, okay, we'll survive, you know? It's the miscellaneous little things like that that you don't often think about. Next, your preserved and pickled items because, yeah, hello, okay? So add pickles, add olives. If you eat sauerkraut, add sauerkraut to your pantry for a long-lasting flavor and a really quick side dish. Next is condiments. And I'm talking a little bit above and beyond the basics of ketchup and mustard, okay? So believe it or not, peanut butter is a condiment. Honey, jams, that kind of thing. Those are also condiments. And so those can definitely be a super quick meal, an energy boost. They taste good. Something to consider is emergency beverages. Now for me, in my case, that's coffee, okay? But bottled water, definitely bottled water. Tea bags or instant coffee, okay? Instant coffee. Emergency beverages, because it's something to consider. Ensure that you have bottled water, that's really important. Tea bags, instant coffee, because, you know, so that you can stay hydrated and caffeinated during times of disruptions. Those are important. Nobody likes a caffeine withdrawal. The next thing to consider is snack items. Now I'm talking about granola bars, trail mix, crackers, okay? Because they're an immediate boost when hunger strikes. How many of you have had or remember having saltine crackers with a little bit of butter on them? Sometimes it was like a meal, but sometimes it's just a little something to give you that boost to get through, you know? So those kinds of things are really helpful. And they kind of calm you down too. Next is ready-to-eat meals. And I know there's a whole bunch of you out there that love the idea of ready-to-eat meals, okay? But include things that are super easy, like instant noodles, you know, cup of soup, that kind of thing. Soups, oatmeal packets for quick, no-fuss meals during emergencies, because those, you don't have time to fuss. You don't. You want to open it, heat it, and eat it, you know? And those are the kind of things that you want to pay attention to having a little bit of, at least, available on your shelves. I'm a huge fan of dried fruits and nuts. The nuts I do keep in the freezer. They're not shelf stable, okay? But the dried fruits, they are. And I've had them last like 2 years. So your mileage may vary. It really depends on your climate, on your storage conditions, on a multitude of other things. Remember, they just need to be in an airtight container. Do not vacuum seal them because they average around 17% moisture, and it really needs to be 10% or lower to be considered safe enough to vacuum seal for longer term. Spices and seasonings. Okay, now I guess your miscellaneous could be part of this, you know, but when you think of spices and seasonings, you think of paprika, you think of garlic, you know, you don't necessarily think of soy sauce. So that's why I separated these. But you want your spices and your seasonings, the ones that you use the most. If you do not use cumin, I know there's some of you out there, but if you don't use cumin, don't stock it, okay? Stock the things that you use the most, what's most frequently used in your household. That's what you want to keep stocked up on. Shelf stable and dairy alternative. That's big. That's really big, okay? So opt for powdered milk, evaporated milk, and shelf-stable plant-based alternatives that they have now. They're coming out with all this stuff that's, you know, for the people that can't handle the actual dairy product. So that way, not only do your recipes that require some kind of dairy have that available if you run out. You don't have to go for the milk and bread run, right? But then if you want to drink them, they're also there. They're a really great thing to have as a staple in your pantry. Cooking oils. Again, mileage may vary. I have had dark containered olive oil, okay, lasts me for 2 years. So, you know, they say 6 months to a year. I've had it last for 2 years. I'm very conscientious about the temperature and the light conditions in my pantry though. So if your pantry does not always stay cool, or if you can't block out most of the light, you know, that kind of thing, your mileage may vary. I don't know what to say, but that's definitely something to consider when you're storing any oil. Now, it's not a long-term storage thing. And I've had vegetable oil, I think it was, last me about 1.5 years before I started noticing that, wow, this doesn't smell quite right. You know, it depends. It really does depend. However, whatever oils that you use, you want to make sure that you've got some backup. Don't get so much that you will not rotate through it in the appropriate amount of time before it goes bad, because otherwise you might as well just light that dollar bill on fire. Baking essentials, because baking is fun. Okay, at least I think it is, right? So you want to secure long-lasting baking items. Now, commercially ground flours typically last 1 to 2 years tops if they are kept cool, dark, and dry, okay? Airtight containers, the whole dealy-womp. I am not big on putting things into the freezer. Then again, I don't store it so long that it is an issue, truth be told. I keep a rotating 4 5-gallon buckets of flour, commercially ground flour, that I work through, because I know it doesn't last forever. I know that pantry moths and that kind of thing are a problem. So if you don't use that much, because I don't bake for us, I bake for other people, but if you don't use that much, you know, figure out how much you do use and rotate it through that way. If you prefer to keep it stored in the freezer, that's a great way to not have to worry about any of it. When you bring it home, you have the option of taking it out, putting it in the freezer, and the theory is that it kills any larva that's in there. My belief, okay, is that it puts it to sleep. And so then when you bring it out, you know, it'll wake up eventually. That's the way it works with firewood. That's the way it works with pretty much anything else that I know of. So a complete lack of oxygen is what typically kills larvae. Now, you can vacuum seal commercially ground flour. You want to make sure that you are doing it in a way that won't suck the flour up into your vacuum sealer, because that will kill it. Then it's just a doorstop. So you want to be able to put it in jars and vacuum seal using like cupcake liners or coffee filters, that kind of thing inside, so that it doesn't get sucked right up in there. That's one way to do it. Another thing, as most of you know, I have migrated over to milling my own flour, and I love it. We love it. We're using it all the time. A really great thing that you can do to get used to it, if that's something that you want to do, is to mix it in with your commercially ground flour, you know, and that will get you used to the taste, because the taste is different. The texture can tend to be a little more dense, but it's real food and it has the nutrients in it. Commercially ground flour does not. That has calories and carbs. So whatever works best for you, but you want to secure long-lasting basics like all-purpose flour, sugar, baking soda. Baking powder does have a shelf life of about a year or two, okay? So that whenever you have the need, you can whip up things like a few loaves of bread or some dessert or something like that. Having those items that you bake with, it's a great thing. Next, there are your legumes. Those are lentils and those are beans, okay? And those things are fantastic to have for good, hearty, healthy, filling meals, and they're inexpensive, super inexpensive. So learning how to cook with them, not only does it help your digestive system get used to them, because yeah, if you're not used to eating beans, then it's going to mess with you a little bit. So you fart. People fart. Big deal. Okay. But if you want to get used to them, try a little bit at a time, just a little bit at a time, and a little bit more. You know, if you add a whole cup of beans to your meals, yeah, you're going to be a little gassy the next day. Okay, stuff happens. But they're economical, they're filling, and they're perfect to put in stews and soups and salads even. Next is your canned vegetables, and there is a plethora of all of these, right? But whatever you eat today. So we are big on tomato-based products, canned spinach. Phil loves this canned spinach. We also do carrots and mushrooms and beets and, you know, green beans, all the stuff that you eat. So Ensuring that you have a ready supply of nutritious sides is a great thing to have on hand, and if they're already canned up, basically it's a heat and eat. You know, my next one is my favorite, canned proteins. Now, whether you're a home canner, which I highly encourage you to learn how to do, or you buy these already done at the store, either way works, okay? Now, it is more economical most of the time, long term, to do your own. But if you can't do that right now, then definitely grab the ones at the store, like the Keystone or Great Value brands or whatever. But you want items like tuna or chicken and canned beans. That's a canned protein, my friends. Yes, it is, okay? So if you're getting canned beans from the store, it's good. They're all good. Eat them. They're good. And the beans offer a quick protein fix, okay, when fresh meat isn't available. Last but not least is grains and pasta. Okay, if you're diabetic, you either significantly reduce the quantity that you're eating, okay, or you don't get them. Just because I've listed it here does not mean that you have to put it in your pantry, okay? Only stock what you eat. If you don't eat it, don't stock it. If you don't currently eat black beans, but you want to learn to eat black beans, go buy a pound or two. Don't go buy 50, you know? Learn to eat it, learn to enjoy it, learn to make it part of your life, and then stock it. That's the way to do it. But things like white rice and whole grain pasta and quinoa, right, for versatility, if you like quinoa, okay, they're long lasting and they bulk up your meals. You can make a lot of really bulked up meals with them. Each of these items is designed to build a robust pantry that will get you prepared and keep you prepared regardless of what kind of emergency comes your way. And I am not talking about the end of the world as we know it. I'm talking about job loss. I'm talking about financial issues like a major car repair or something, okay? I'm talking about medical issues. Life throws something at us on a regular basis. Having a well-stocked pantry gives you that one thing that you don't have to worry about. You don't have to budget during those difficult times. You don't have to be concerned that the people in your house aren't going to eat because the food is there, you know? It's just the best form of insurance that money can buy. Below are 5 reputable sources that provide data and insights on global food security, supply chain challenges, because they're still going on, and price trends. That's a big one right there. And that helps shape informed decisions on all of the stuff that we discussed, okay? If you are reading these and you go through them and you see that something that you rely heavily on is listed as being, you know, at risk of not being able to obtain, then you know. Don't shout it to the stars. Just go to the store and get what you need that you can afford, that you can stock to get you through the next 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, a year. You can do it. I have faith in you. I know you can do it. If you want to see some different things to stock up on a small budget, check out this playlist right here. Until next time, everybody, be safe. Stack it to the rafters, my friends.